it's Kelsey, and today I'm going to be going over my favorite things at Cedar Point. We're going to go over everything from rides to restaurants and everything beyond that. So let's get started. First, we're going to start with shows and entertainment around the park. The first show on my list is the Swell Tones, which takes place in front of Coaster's Diner. This show normally runs about 4 to 5 times a day, and it is such a great show. I always have to stop and watch this one when I see it going on. I will say in the past they have had a better cast, but they still have a great cast today. I definitely recommend stopping and watching this show. The cast is always high energy and they have some good songs that they play, and you'll know where their stage is based on the markings on the ground, so you'll just want to make sure you stand behind that while watching the show. This is by far one of my favorite shows around the entire park, and I highly recommend stopping by for this show. The next bit of entertainment that I really enjoy is the parades. They started doing the parade around the 150th anniversary, and now they do it for boardwalk nights. These floats are absolutely massive and cover everything from inside the parks to outside of the parks, different rides, different foods, and more. If you watch a decent amount of entertainment around the park, you might see some familiar faces in the parade. I have definitely spotted some familiar faces at the parade and at different shows. Some of the cast within the park is so talented I can't believe that they're only singing at Cedar Point. I feel like they should be on American Idol or something like that, and that one cast at Coasters was definitely like that, and then it got rearranged to a bunch of new people. Nonetheless, Cedar Point found some amazing cast members, and now we have some amazing entertainment to enjoy throughout the season. Another show that I love and came across recently was the Class of '99, and it takes place in the Jack Aldrich Theater. I'll be honest, I didn't even know that there were shows going on inside the theater until last year. I am so glad that we stopped by to watch this show. It was a cute 20 to 30 minute show about a bunch of high schoolers. There was one kid that was kind of out there, but then they all accepted him at the end, and it was a really beautiful storyline. In the show, they sing a bunch of songs from the 90s, including the Friends theme song, which I was thrilled to hear. It was a great show, and I thought it was really funny, and it was really cute, and I think it was something that everybody should go and see while they're at Cedar Point. Don't skip on the theater shows. They're actually really entertaining, and you get some nice AC while you're in there. A lot of the good entertainment comes with Halloweekends in the fall. Not only do they have the houses, but they have a bunch of shows that revolve around the characters of the houses. Mr. Midnight is definitely a highlighted character, but I absolutely love him, and I can't wait to see his show again this year. Another one of my favorite shows from Halloweekends is the Witch Sisters. They are absolutely hilarious, and these 3 girls have come back to Cedar Point year after year to play these witches. The show is really mainly for kids, but I think it's for adults too because it is absolutely hilarious, and I find myself laughing every single time. Another good show is Fangs After Dark. They used to be known as the Fangtastics, but now they've had a new name, and then they have a whole bunch of new people in their cast. This show is basically a bunch of vampires getting on stage to entertain everybody at Cedar Point. It's a good show and it fills up fast, so if you want a good seat, and if you want a seat at all, you should get there early. Next, we'll move on to the different stores around Cedar Point and shopping. The first one on my list is the Sweet Spot. It's full of candy and fudge and caramel apples and popcorn and everything you could ever imagine. It's a nice place to find a sweet snack throughout the day. The next one on my list is Point Plaza at the front of the park. This one literally has just about anything you could ever imagine that's Cedar Point related. My personal favorite store is Peanuts at the Point. It is literally the cutest store ever, and they have anything you could ever imagine when it comes to the Peanuts characters. Next up on my list is the hotels on Cedar Point property. The first hotel on my list is the Express Hotel. This is the hotel that's just down the street from Cedar Point. This is a great option if you're looking for something just a little bit cheaper, but you still want to stay on property. They also have a nice pool in the middle of the hotel rooms. The next one on my list is Hotel Breakers, and I'm going to break some hearts here when I say this is not my favorite hotel. While this hotel is very nice and it is also on the beach and has multiple pools, it is not my favorite one on property. I'll be getting to that one soon. I feel like the only perk to this hotel is really that it's on the beach and you're really close to Cedar Point where you have your own entrance and everything. But I do feel for the price you're paying, you're not getting what you deserve. I feel like the rooms are a little bit outdated and they could use some updating. I am not saying by any means that this is a bad hotel to stay at. It's a great hotel, but I feel like with the price tag, you should be getting a little bit more amenities with this hotel. This hotel is just fine if you don't mind paying that pretty penny for the hotel room. Now you're probably wondering, if Hotel Breakers was not my favorite, which one is it? Well, it's Sawmill Creek. This hotel is literally beautiful from the inside out. The rooms are beautiful. The venue is beautiful. Everything about this hotel is beautiful. They have a nice breakfast area where you get to have breakfast. They have a nice big pool and a nice big hot tub, and they also have an outdoor pool and an outdoor hot tub. And then you get into your room and you have a nice big TV, a mini fridge, a microwave, plenty of storage, and you have the most comfortable beds. I love everything about these rooms, from the comfort to the style. Up next, we're going to be talking about my favorite restaurants and food around the Cedar Point properties. This first place is probably one of my favorites. If you haven't heard about it, I don't know how you haven't. It's called Derby Dogs, and they have the best hot dogs in the world. Unfortunately, a lot of the times, Derby Dogs looks just like this, closed. Hopefully it'll be open a little bit more this season. Next on my list is Backbeat Q Barbecue. If you love barbecue, this is the place for you, and if you love mac and cheese, they have the best mac and cheese around. The mac and cheese is absolutely delicious, and so is the chicken, and I'm sure the barbecue is just as delicious as everything else. Next up on my list is Coaster's Diner. This one is more for the atmosphere, not the food. The food is fine, it's just normal theme park food, burgers, fries, chicken, and all that. If you're looking for an alcoholic drink, 21 and colder has got you covered. We actually gave this place a try and tried a flight, and it was actually pretty good, and the frozen drinks made it so nice on a hot day. If you're looking for breakfast food in the park, you're going to want to stop by Grand Pavilion. They're one of the only places that have it, and it's actually a pretty decent size and a good price. Next up on my list is French Quarter Confections. If you have a sweet tooth and you're looking for something sweet, this is the place for you. The next one on my list is Panda Express. This is just a normal Panda Express, but it's definitely shareable. A couple other things that you can find inside the park from outside the park are a Starbucks coffee and an Annie Ann's pretzel stand. And now we're moving on to the biggest category of all, rides and attractions. The first one on my list is more of an attraction than a ride to me, but it is the Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad. This train takes you from the middle of the park to the back of the park and vice versa. It has a nice and relaxing scenic route, but it also has some scenes where skeletons are set up doing different things. It's a fun attraction for the whole family. The next one on my list is another family fun attraction, and it's the cars that they used to have at the back of the park, but they only have at the front of the park now. One of my favorite water rides is Thunder Canyon. It's a family raft ride, and it is super fun, and you don't know who's going to get soaked. Another one of my favorite attractions is the meet and greets with the characters. They don't do this much up at Cedar Point, but if you look at the app, you can find some show times throughout the day. This is something I hope they add on to in the seasons to come, and it would be nice if they would do some special Halloween characters as well, like the ones on stage you can meet, but also like Mr. Midnight. Another one of my favorite rides is Cedar Creek Mine Ride. This one doesn't give me a headache as often as you might think because it's a wooden roller coaster, but I absolutely love this ride. I have always really liked this ride. Even though it is a smaller ride, I do enjoy it because it's not one that gives me a migraine, which is shocking because it is a wooden roller coaster. This one is one for the whole family as well, and I think that that's something Cedar Point is getting away from with all the big attractions, so it's nice to have something like this. The next one on my list is the Gemini. This one is one of my top favorites, but it's barely ever open anymore because it breaks down a lot. But I really do enjoy this ride. It's really fun, and I like the aspect of racing another train. And probably my favorite ride at Cedar Point is Iron Dragon. I know it's not the fastest or tallest or one of the most thrilling rides in the park, but I really do enjoy this ride. For someone who doesn't really like the big rides because it gives me migraines, this is something that I can ride every time I go, and I really do enjoy going on this ride. I haven't ridden it in a couple years because it has had a long wait every time that I go, which is kind of surprising, but also not at the same time. I wouldn't wait more than 30 minutes for this ride. And that's all of my favorites. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what your favorites are in the comments down below. Thanks for watching today's video. See you guys next time. Bye.